hypnotherapist. Um, how how come you believe and you talk about spirituality and God a lot? And I will tell you, my friends, is that when I was studying psychoanalysis, counseling, psychology, hypnotherapy, life coaching, it never answered the questions: why am I here? What is my purpose? What is my duty? What truly makes me happy? How to make my soul and uh, my soul and my heart happy? Not hypnotherapy, not psychology, not psychoanalysis, no type of therapy that I studied answered those questions. And so, my friends, unless we're studying spirituality, unless we're curious about who is our creator, who God is, what is his purpose, and why we're here, we will never find a true meaning and true happiness in life. We will always be guessing, we'll always be dreaming and thinking and searching and looking, but it's all going to be in the realm of mind. And in our modern society, most of us are concerned with either physical body to look good, and that's why a lot of people do surgeries or go to the gym, or a lot of people are going to therapy and counseling or looking for motivational speakers. But this is only addressing the problem in the realm of mind and physical body, but it never addresses our true meaning and purpose in life, which is in the realm of our soul. And that's why we have to, it's our main duty to really learn why we're here, what is our purpose, what is our duty as a daughter, as a mother, as a father, as a husband, because nobody is really curious and interested to learn that. So give me just 1 second, and I see already a really great question. And hello, friends on YouTube. I am both live on Instagram and on YouTube. So if you have any questions, I would love to answer them. So just give me 1 second. Hi, I'm Rita. Yes, by the way, my spiritual name is not Alisa, it's Amrita. So thank you for calling me by my spiritual name. Hello, Amelia. I hope you're well. Thank you. Happy New Year, friends. How to make a man make a relationship go further. We have been together 8 months. No, I love you, or moving together, but everything else is good. Good question. Really good question. A lot of women are struggling nowadays because I see women who've been in a relationship for 5 even years, for 6 years, for 10 years, and no ring, and no marriage. And this is something every woman should be talking about while the dating process is happening without sexual intimacy. So once you have a sexual intimacy, you are doing the duties of a wife. And if you're doing the duties of a wife, man is not interested to marry you. Why would he need to marry you? Because once a man marries you, he needs to be responsible for you. Now he has to provide, protect for you and your future children, and take responsibility over you. But if you're sleeping with him, if you're paying a half a rent, if you help him to pay for insurance and utilities, why would he need to get married if he can get the benefits by you just being a girlfriend? And so in the modern days, everybody has chemistry attraction and they're jumping in bed, and then 6 8 months later or a year later they're thinking, why is he not proposing, why he doesn't want to get married? And he's not going to get married because you're already sleeping with him. But then another problem, then ladies are learning about it and they're saying, well, now what, I shouldn't have sex? No, that's, you should not back up now and say, well, until I get married I will not have sex with you. No, you've done a mistake by having sex with him without committed relationship, without an engagement, without a marriage. And that is the biggest problem, how now you can make your man marry you. This is going to be very difficult. If you don't have sex, man has all of the interest to chase you, to buy you flowers, go on the dates with you, take you to the restaurants. But if you're sleeping with him, what else can you give him? Because this is the biggest motivation to a man. And this is the biggest problem. For now, it's going to be very difficult for you to get him to marry you. At this point, you have to do the best week, cook for him, have sex with him, um, cook for him the best food, do the best week as possible. And then at the end of that week, you can say, honey, this is how your life would look like if we get married. But if you're not interested to marry me and have a serious relationship, I understand. I wish you well, but I'm going to move on because what's really fundamentally important for me is to have a family together, a serious relationship, committed relationship. And if he's not interested, it's okay. You can say bye and move on and never do mistakes like that. You gotta twist now a man's hand to commit to you because you haven't done your duties, did not properly date, and did not ask him the right questions. Are you interested to have a marriage? Are you interested to have children? What are your beliefs? And check, what is this man willing to do for you? Is he willing to change? Is he willing to escort you, to chase you, make you happy? And so now it's going to be challenging. I wish you luck. And if that's not going to work out with this man, you can do the proper dating next time. Because again, a man values a high value woman. If you're not jumping in bed with a man on the third, fourth, fifth date, he's looking, wow, this is an extraordinary woman. It's been 2 or 3 months and she is still haven't even kissed me. We're just going on the dates. Don't be afraid if they leave you because you're not having sex with you. You're not having sex with him and he's moving on. It's okay. You're going to find a different man. That means this man is just interested in sex. But if a man is looking for committed relationship, for a serious relationship, he going to value that. He will see, wow, this is a rare woman. We've been together so long and she still did not allow me even to kiss her. So I hope that answered the question. Because again, in the modern society, this is very difficult. Everybody is jumping in bed and then they're thinking how to make a relationship work. But we have to do it the other way around. Sex should be the last. After engagement, ideally in marriage, but not the other way around. But people nowadays, they want to see how do we fit with our organs? And then they're trying to figure out everything else. So I'm sorry to, it's not I'm laughing at you, I'm laughing at the society, how degraded we are. Because we're the product of what's right now is taught us through the movies, through the novels, through society. Because the foundation of spiritual knowledge is gone now out of the society, and sex, which is very available everywhere, is replaced that. And so that is the problem. How to deal with women who have childhood trauma? Good question, Adam. That's why you guys also have to date a woman for 4 or 5 months without having intimacy to figure out what is her relationship to her parents, to her siblings, to her friends. Does she even have friends? Does she has traumas? Does she has drinking problem? Alcohol problem, drug problem, or any other type of traumas, and then you see all of these red flags, you leave and you keep looking for another woman. Because once you're already in a relationship with a woman who has serious traumas from the childhood, you feel stuck, but then it's going to be very difficult for you. Because with a woman who has a lot of childhood traumas that she hasn't worked through, it's going to be practically impossible to make a relationship or marriage work because all of her trauma is going to be now on your head and on your future children's, because she, whatever that did not work her in her childhood traumas, she's going to repeat that now in a relationship, especially in a marriage. And that's why it's a woman's duty and it's a man's duty to work through and heal, to heal their soul, to heal their mind in order to be in a relationship, the best version of themselves. Yeah, my friends. So that's a really good question. And now let me come back to the questions here on Instagram. So basically, don't have sex until marriage. Well, ideally, yes, honestly. But again, if you really have to, at least get to know someone in 5 6 months, and once they give you the ring and you have a date of the marriage, you can have an intimacy if you cannot wait until you get married, but not earlier, until you get ring and until you have a date. Because even if you have an engagement, but your boyfriend says, yes, yes, we're going to get married, but you have no date, it could be another 5 or 10 years. I know so many cases like that, where a man just gives a ring to just tell you, just shut up, just leave me alone. And then there is no date. And if there's no date, there won't be no wedding. So, but at the same time, you don't want to just get engaged to anybody. You need to get to know this woman or this man. Are they a good fit for you? Are they willing to change for you if they have traumas, if they have bad habits? Are they willing to support you emotionally? Are they willing to help you financially when you're struggling? Are they willing to, are they having the same dreams and the same goals? They want to get married, they want to have kids, they want to live in the same city, or do they want you to work and provide and help them financially? If a man wants you to work and do 50-50, then it's a roommate. It's not a husband and it's not a man, honestly. But in the modern society, we have a lot of those men. And you have to find out this during the dating. And the same thing for men. A woman wants to just work. She doesn't want to have children. She doesn't want to cook. She doesn't want to be humble, gentle, loyal, and kind. Run. Why would you want to marry someone like that? And so that's why throughout the dating, you can see those red flags before jumping in bed and having intimacy with wrong type of person. All right, and now, should a 30-year-old woman date mature 20-year-old man? I'm assuming. Ideally, ladies, you want to be with a man who is minimal 5 years older than you, ideally 10, because women mature much younger. Our son is 8 years old, and he is going to school. And teachers are always punishing boys and screaming and yelling at boys. Yes, in United States, even here, this is happening right and left. But girls are more mature. They're polite for the most part. They listen to the teachers. And so my son is always comes home and says, Mom, teachers love girls more because they're smarter. And that, by the way, hurts their self-esteem. And so men, boys, mature much later. When I see men in United States and Western Europe in their 20s, they're literally more like teenagers. Men mature in the United States for the most part after their 40s, not earlier than that. In Eastern Europe, it happens younger, much earlier. In Africa, in Middle East, but in the Western society, somehow men mature much later. So even if you're saying your man is mature at 28, this is very rare. Maybe in Africa, maybe in Eastern Europe, but in United States or Western Europe, I would question that. That happens very rare. So ideally, a man should be older. Man should be older, man should be financially stable before he commits, before he gets married. If man is not financially stable, that means you're starting the relationship and meaning marriage on the crack foundation, and it's going to be very shaky. Yeah, let's see more questions. I got to talk with my man yesterday, and he told me that men are afraid that sex is not going to be good after marriage. When they see traditional women is like a red flag now in society for guys. This is the biggest excuse. Yeah. If he's afraid that sex will be good, sex will be bad, bye-bye. There will be other men who are not afraid of that, because how sex can be bad? Really. And we as a human beings, we have sex with our partners 4% of the times. The rest of the time, we talk, we grow our children, we have dinners, we go to concerts, we're watching the movie, we're going to work, we sleep. So sex takes only 4%. But most of the time, people are paying attention to this 4% like it's the 200% of importance. And so, a man who really loves you, he will follow your lead with regards to sexual intimacy. If it's important for you to have a ring before you have sex, and if he respects that, that means he really loves you and respects you. And if a man wants to check on the second, third, or fourth date how sex is before committing to you, that means he's using you. That means he doesn't respect you and he doesn't know how to value you as a woman. And this is a feminine man. And you don't want to have a relationship and foundation with a man like that. I would say bye bye to this man. Yeah. You said that we think too much of ourselves to look for a man with wealth and that we should get an average man with a job and pray to build him up. Why? Really good question. Because in order for you to find a wealthy man, because a lot of women, we grow up on the Pretty Woman movie, on the Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, where a woman or a girl is dreaming about a prince, a billionaire. There's so many movies like that. But in the reality, this is Hollywood and this is books for women because we like to live in a fantasy. How men like porn, we like love novels and movies. But in the reality, to find a 1% man who is that rich and wealthy, it's practically impossible. Even if you'll find a rich man, but for him to be generous, kind, and loyal, then you're looking at 0.0001%. And so you can waste your time dreaming and watching those kind of movies and hoping that you're gonna meet him, or you can find an average man who is good, who is loyal, who has a job, who is willing to commit, who is willing to get married and have children and provide and protect and build him up. Because a man, by the way, every man is trying to succeed only because in the background he wants to impress a woman. If a man knows that he will not meet a woman or he doesn't want to get married, he will not be even inspired to succeed. This is in DNA of every man. And if he already has a girlfriend who loves him, who appreciates him, he will conquer the mountains for her. If he has a wife and a children, and a wife loves him and serves him and takes care of children, he will move the mountains for her if she appreciates him, if she loves him, if she values him, respects him, he feels loved. But again, to find this zillionaire that every woman is dreaming because she thinks I'm sexy, I'm pretty, I've done this plastic surgery, I look somewhat like Kardashian or I don't know, Jennifer Aniston or Cameron Diaz or I don't know, these pretty actresses. And you're thinking now because of that, you're going to attract a millionaire who will provide and protect for you. You're competing for this guy. Thousands of women, not thousands, thousands of women are going to be trying to get him. And do you want to play this kind of a competition? And you're that beautiful, humble, and feminine that he will choose you? Again, the choice is yours. Yeah. And probably not even thousands, probably millions. But again, this is the reality. We have to live in a state of reality and not a fantasy. But these movies and these programs are reprogramming us to think that, yes, there's a prince and millionaire who will do everything for me. Yeah. Let's see if there's more questions. I have never dated down before. Okay. The sound is muffled. I'm sorry, friends. I'm not sure what to do about it. Let me see if I can move that. And if that's better, please tell me, Nina, if the sound is better. We cannot hear you. Even now, you cannot hear me? Alisa, please fix the sound. Let me see. Let me tell you. Tell me, friends, if it's not working still. What about men being emotionally unavailable? Woman attracts emotionally unavailable men is because she is not ready for a relationship, because she's still traumatized from the family dynamic that she grew up. Most likely, either her mother or her father was emotionally unavailable. Because when we grow up, we attract a partner that reminds us subconsciously either mother or father. Most of the time, for women, it will be a reminder of their father. But a lot of times it could be a mother as well. If mother was emotional and available, that's a comfort zone, and she raised you, you're going to be attracting emotionally unavailable man. Or father, maybe your family was divorced, so father was working all the time and he was emotional unavailable, and now you're attracting men like that. So I would highly recommend to either therapy to start with, or if you cannot afford therapy, best if you start the spiritual practices that I share all the time on my YouTube channel. Because I'll tell you, my friends, working as a hypnotherapist and a counselor and a life coach, helping over 2,000 people, 2,063 people in my practice, and then helping even more people through the group therapies and seminars and programs that I led, I will tell you that people after therapy, they start to have healthy boundaries with their partners. They start to become content in their life. They progress in their career. But I never see people after therapy having truly peace of mind and happiness and bliss. This happiness and bliss comes only if you connect to our Creator, God, higher power, universe, however it's comfortable for you. But if you're not willing to do spiritual practices and hope that you'll go to therapy and then you'll be happy and meet a man of your dream, that will not happen. So if you can do, ideally, find a good therapist and do spiritual practices all at the same time, it will be even better, because that's how you're going to speed up the process. But again, just know that you gotta start investing in yourself. Yeah, good question. Sound is perfect now. Wonderful. Thank you. More questions, friend. All men I met are looking for physical attraction first. Yes, and that's normal. 1 second, friends. Men has to be attracted by their eyes. If they're not attracted to you, they're not gonna even chase you and invest their time and energy to get to know you, to conquer you, because their main drive when they find you, they can even fall in love by just looking at you, is to conquer you, to get you in bed. And so that's why women should be beautiful. And so in the first few dates, that's the most important. But after 2, 3 months, they get used to that beauty. And if you cannot give more than just your beauty and your sex appeal, he will be gone, because he's looking also for a woman that he can conquer and leave legacy for, or with whom he can conquer and have a family and open business or succeed at work. He needs to see a woman who really values and appreciates him. And so just sex appeal and being beautiful and pretty is not enough. Only first 3, 4 weeks, yes. But after that, if you're greedy, if you're mean, if you're stubborn, if you're argumentative, if you are fighting, judgmental, all of that gonna be the biggest turnoff. And that's why, ladies, I'm telling you, if you really want to get married, if you want to have a healthy relationship, you gotta invest working on yourself, becoming emotionally healthy, humble, feminine, kind, loving, loyal. All of those things are very attractive, because then you're going to be one in a million. Because everywhere you look, you see women who are in the background, like Kardashians, with attitude. Yes, they might be pretty. Yes, they might be sexy, but their attitude is nasty. Men are not attracted to women who are go getters, successful, and make money. Yes, they are attracted to them to have sex, but not to commit, not to get married and have a family and children. And so therefore you have to understand, what do you want? You want a family, healthy relationship, you want to have kids and healthy relationship, or do you want to just have a boy toy feminine man for a few weeks or a few months? Because there's a big difference. If you want to have healthy relationship, loving, harmonious, and happy relationship, you got to work on yourself. You got to become feminine, kind, loving, humble, and not for the sake of men, for yourself. Because then God himself going to send you good men. And even if you're going to have some, again, he's not wealthy, he's not rich, he's just a regular John, It's okay, because together you're gonna grow and gonna overcome difficulties. Because the true security will never come from men, it's gonna come from above. Because man at any point can walk away, he can find a prettier, younger, sexier woman. But your true security, not in job and not in men, it's from your relationship with God. I'm sorry to be honest, but this is true. And most of the motivational speakers gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you what you need. But that's not true, my friends. Don't even believe my words, because all my life I thought I was a believer. I was a believer, but I was searching. But once I start really studying spiritual knowledge, now I can say with certainty that yes, God is there, because I experienced him, and not once, many times. And that's when I truly can feel the confidence and happiness and certainty in my relationship, in myself, in my relationship with husband and our son and community, and why I'm here. And this is the most important, what we need to discover as human beings. Yeah. Nina telling me, a great spiritual practice helped me so much already. Listen to all of your videos, help me. Thank you, Nina. Thank you for watching, and thank you for learning and growing. Because again, the spiritual knowledge that you're gonna get, that is priceless. That's the true access to happiness. Nothing else. Not money, not work, not even relationship and marriage. Relationship and marriage helps. But once you really understand the value of the relationship, the value of yourself and your man, and feeling true happiness that comes from above, don't try to expect to get happiness from your boyfriend or your girlfriend, husband or wife. That will never happen. Husbands and wives are here to help us to grow, to overcome our difficulties, to pass the exam in life, but not for happiness and not for just enjoyment. But that's what we think they're here for. All right, let's see if there's other questions. All men are looking for physical attraction first. I answered that question. I hear women say that they want an emotionally intelligent man. Can you explain what this actually means? Yes. Because men, when they see a woman, they're looking for beautiful, attractive woman, because through the beauty he thinks that she's beautiful inside, which could be a lie. Not all the time beautiful woman could be beautiful inside, but that's the illusion. But a woman, when she goes on a date, she listens to him, what kind of questions he asks, how he talks about his job, his career, how he carries his shoulders, how he pays for the lunch or dinner that he invited her for. She's looking for his intelligence to see, will this man be able to provide for her and their future children? Because if a man is not intelligent, she'll know, yeah, probably next month he would lose a job. Because a woman can see a man's destiny, a man's future. Can she see herself with him? Will he be a good provider? If she's gonna go through emotional distress while she's pregnant or when they're gonna have children, will he be able to support her emotionally, intelligently, and not go through roller coaster with her? And for women, the safety is very important, and she judges him based on his intelligence. And if he's just a little good looking boy, has six packs and all the muscles, but he cannot have the conversation, well, masculine woman who is goal oriented, independent, and money driven, she'll take him and she'll use him for sex. But a true feminine woman who wants the relationship will pass on a man like that, because she understands that this man won't be able to provide and to protect for her, especially during the pregnancy and first few years of when they're gonna have a young kids. Because only in United States and some countries where women just dump their kids at 3 months and they go to work, normal, healthy, emotionally healthy woman will never put her child in a daycare. She'll be raising him until at least that he's 3 or 4 years old. But in United States, again, global leaders made sure that we women give our kids away, so they're going to be programmed by other strangers to be without parents so that women can work and make more money and pay more taxes. Rockefellers did all that, and we're continue sponsoring them by putting our kids to daycare and not having the knowledge, not having the trust in the higher power. We're agreeing to this nonsense. Yeah. And so woman is checking if man is intelligent, if he's smart, and if he is really truly willing to provide and protect her, especially when she's very vulnerable. And woman during the pregnancy is very vulnerable. Thank you for the hearts, friends. Does a man relationship with mom always define how he will treat you? Yes, my friends. Yes. The way a man treats his mother, the way a man has a relationship with his mother is going to be in a year or two how he'll be treating you. During the dating process, he can fake it out, but in the long run, if he hates his mother, he's going to start punishing you as a wife. If a woman hates her father, she's going to be punishing her husband during the marriage. And that's why relationship with parents are very critical. That's why during the dating process, when you're dating 4 or 5, 6 months before you get to engagement, you got to check who's this girlfriend's or boyfriend's parents, how he's treating them, how she's treating them, what is their relationship. Because if, again, they're having no relationship or they're argumentative or they're fighting all the time, sooner or later that's going to be relationship, your relationship with him or her. So yeah, this is really critical. Let's see if there's more question here. What do you think about a very religious man that is 50 years old and has never been married, never sex because he's waiting for the right woman? Good question. I look at men who've never been married in their 40s as a red flag. Because emotionally healthy, both men and women, by the age of mid 30s, latest, should be married. And if a man or a woman is still single and never been married in their age 40 something or 40 or 50, that says that they're perfectionists or they're dealing with all range, all kinds of problems, emotional problems, psychological problems. And most likely they're not going to marry you either. And so a lot of times, even if they're religious, the problem is with this word religious. I see people who go to church every weekend or to mosque or synagogue every weekend, but they have no relationship to God. Because God doesn't care that you go to church every weekend. He cares for you to have a relationship with him every day. Every day. How you treat people, how you treat yourself, how you talk about other people. That's what's more important. And that's what I call spiritual. That's what I call having relationship with God. But if he goes to church or mosque or synagogue or temple, it doesn't mean anything. How he thinks about woman, how he treats you, how he's treating people around him. And that's why when you are dating him long enough, you can see, is he truly humble and kind man who really cares for people. And so date him long enough and you will discover. My advice, biggest advice for you friends, don't jump fast in bed with anybody. Get to know people. Truly get to know them. Who are they? Why are you trusting your body, mind, and soul so quickly through your physical connection? Get to know them, who they are, what are their values, what is their principles, what is their relationship with friends and family members. And once you discover that they're emotionally healthy and happy and humble people, and once you get engaged, absolutely, that's what I believe in. Old school, traditional, very traditional. Why some men would rather be mistresses than a normal relationship? Why some women would rather be mistresses? Well, insecure women would agree to being mistresses. Emotionally healthy woman would never will allow herself to be second, because if she's a mistress, that means wife will be always number one and mistress will be always number two. But if there's kids involved, then kids will be on the second position and she will be on the third. But if there's cats and dogs involved and he really loves them, then she'll be on the fourth position, because there's wife, then there's kids, there's cats and dogs that kids love, and then only you. And only a secure woman would allow herself to be a mistress, and then she'll be waiting and hoping. Well, our sex is so good. He buys me gifts sometimes. Sometimes he finds time to go and take me to lunch and dinner. He'll definitely divorce her. No, he will not divorce you because his wife, because you allowed him to treat you as number four or number two or number three. And why now he needs to go through stress of going through divorce, giving half of his property to his wife, and seeing how his kids have a crumble life, because divorce is a very traumatic experience for children, so that he will marry you? No, you conveniently agreed to be second or third or fourth, and he will continue to treat you as that. And he will squeeze in some time for you to enjoy sex, because yeah, sometimes sex becomes boring with wife because she's busy with kids, or maybe something is not working, but they will overcome that, and you're helping them. He's happy on the side, and then he comes home and he's not nagging his wife to have sex. So it's some women's position. Yeah. But what most of the women don't know, that it's a bad karma if she is destroying the relationship of that family, and the man is seriously now thinking to leave his wife, which is only 1% of men would be willing to divorce his wife to be with a mistress. Most likely, even if they will get married, their relationship was already built on this principle that they broke someone's family. This relationship, this marriage will never work. The karma will be really bad for her. And 99% now, this woman will not get married. This woman will be suffering for at least 7 years, if not more, because who's protecting the marriage union is God Himself. And who brought the people together for marriage is again our Creator. So I would never mess up with someone who is married. Think of them as a dead people. Move on. There's plenty of single people. There's almost 8 billion people in the world. And what? People cannot find someone single? Why? Why go through such a stress of hoping someone will divorce, someone will come to you? No, there's single people out there. Yeah. Thank you for your wisdom. You're beautiful inside and out, and your advice helped me so much. You're welcome, Sarah. You're welcome. Namaste. A few times, do you have tips on how to increase our self-esteem so we don't settle for a man who won't marry us? I have been provider. I have been provided for, but never proposed to. Good question. Very good question. One second. You see, we grew up in a Western society, and there's a lot of mentors, teachers, spiritual gurus. I would say 99% of them are not really spiritual, who tells you, look in the mirror and keep saying, I'm worthy, I am beautiful, I'm sorry, I love you. All of this is nonsense. I'm sorry, my friends, but we have to be real. Your self esteem goes high when you do actual real work, spiritual work. We have to be disciplined. The easiest way to increase your self esteem, go out in the nature, start walking. Start running every day. So you're going to start feeling that the life itself enters your life, because on the simplest way we see and feel God through nature. Nature doesn't want anything back from us. Sun doesn't want anything back from us. Air, river, and you start to feel better. If you want a little bit more advanced, that means you got to wake up every morning, and now you got to do either affirmation, either prayer, or meditation. Now, the simplest affirmation, you wish everyone happiness. You see, you're not wishing happiness to yourself, because you have to deserve happiness. And how you deserve happiness is wishing everyone happiness. You close your eyes, you put the sound of music of monks or priests who are singing, because they love God. They love God the way that we will never be able to love God, because they pray 8 hours a day. They sing to God 8 hours a day. So you're putting their music, you get in a Turkish position on the floor like that. You close your eyes. The room has to be clean. And 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, you put your hands like that and you start closing your eyes out loud with the sound of monks singing in the background, wishing, I wish everyone happiness. Pause. Taking a deep breath, exhaling and saying, I wish everyone happiness. Deep breath, exhale, I wish everyone happiness. And you do that for a minimum of 5 minutes. Ideally, in 6 months, you'll get probably to 20 to 30 minutes. And this is the simplest form of how you're connecting to higher power himself by wishing everyone happiness, even someone who cheated on you, someone who hurt you. You continue wishing them happiness, you're starting to disconnect from them. And then naturally, you're going to start feeling happy. And that's how your self-esteem starts to go up, because you're starting to feel lighter, you start to feel happy, and you're not artificially trying to get happy or having high self-esteem through surgeries or lying to yourself in the mirror, because you won't be able to lie how wonderful you are, how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, unless you're really connecting to higher power. Once you achieve that, then you're going to start shifting to either prayer in your faith or to meditation. And if you're ready for that, you can start watching my spiritual videos. There's a playlist of spiritual videos on YouTube. They're 1 hour and a half, 3 hours long, and you're going to start learning how to do meditation or how to do prayer. But don't start with that. Start with baby steps. I wish everyone happiness. That's what I recommend. And then you'll see after 3 months, your self esteem starts to grow. After 6 months, it grows even more. After a year, you're not going to be the same person. And you're not going to be attracting the same emotional and available men, or men who are not proposing, or feminine men who are not willing to take responsibility, provide, and protect for you. And so things going to start changing tremendously fast. A few times they said they want to marry me but never proposed. I keep attracting that situation. Yes, because you're struggling with low self-esteem. Once you're gonna overcome your low self-esteem, men gonna start proposing to you. Yeah. How much time do you have to give him for a proposal? Again, if you ladies don't have sex with a man and you date him for 5 months, and then you see that the man is still taking you to restaurant, he's taking you to dates, he's calling you, he's texting you, and he is now really interested to take it to the next level, and he is in a committed relationship with him, you can say, I would love to have intimacy with you, but for me, engagement is very important. And once he puts a ring on your finger and you have a date of the wedding, sleep with him. Yeah, this is the time. And this is the fastest way to get proposal, because then you're going to be a rare woman, 1% in the world, because 99% of the women jump in bed on the first, second, or third date. They have sex. And that's how men are spoiled. But do they respect these women? No. Are they high value women? No. Will they marry them? No. So, choice is yours. But ideally, a man have to propose within the first year. If a man takes 3 or 4 years, if you're in the 20s, it's one thing. But if you're in your 30s, no. No 2 or 3 years, 1 year top. I dated one guy for a year and another one for 2 years, but I answered that question. What is the age when men are ready to settle for a marriage? It's not the age, even though in the age, usually it's in their 30s. When a man financially settle, he already making enough income to purchase a house or a condo. A man who is not feeling insecure at work and makes only 20,000 a year, for example, he already has some kind of a good position at work. You feel like he's not stressed and chasing work. He's already settled, and usually it's mid-30s, closer to 40. And these are men already ready to settle because they already achieved financial success. Until then, men are not ready to settle. 1 second, friends. Wonderful, Sarah, that you're ready to start doing the affirmation tomorrow. Proud of you. Let's see. Let's see, there's more questions here. Agreed, spiritual practice. Now I read that. What did you went through to be this wise? Oh, friends, I had some definitely challenges in my life. Had a really rough upbringing. with parents. They've gone through divorce when I was 5, gone through some really painful heartbreak in my early 20s. And then I was always mature. Even in my teen years, I was very curious about psychology, self and growth development. I remember always reading as a teen Dale Carnegie and other psychological books, and then started to study spirituality because I realized just therapy enough was not making me this happy and experiencing the bliss. So I was always searching. And so I've got through some difficult, really painful experiences in my life. And I will be honest, not psychology, not hypnotherapy, not life coaching made any difference. Gone through so many motivational programs. Being a leader of a really big motivational program did not make any difference with me, very little. What really made a huge difference for me is my relationship to our creator and higher power, and the knowledge I've been studying through yogi knowledge, not the yoga, the poses and asanas that you do. This is the 5% of yoga, and Vedic knowledge that is coming to us from India. From studying this knowledge, start practicing the spirituality and doing the first, it was affirmation, I wish everyone happiness, then the prayer, and then start doing meditation. That's what really made the biggest difference in my life. And once I fully experienced God Himself in my prayer and then meditation, and when I experienced that bliss, and in yoga it's called Kundalini, I start to feel this is the best happiness that a human being can experience living in our lifetime. Because we're thinking heaven is when we're going to die. We can experience heaven during our lifetime, if we really do the spiritual practices. But most of the time, let's be honest, most of the people are chasing happiness through material goods, through work, through money, but you will never achieve the true happiness if you are chasing a boyfriend or a husband or wife or anything else. It's only going to happen through spiritual practices, through your relationship to God. Yeah. Okay, friends, I'm going to answer a few more questions and then I'm going to leave. I was doing live too earlier. So glad to see you here. Hey, Donnie, so good to see you. Wonderful. Does a man relationship with mom? Yeah, I answered that question. So a few more questions, my friends, and I'm going to leave. What is the age? Oh, and I answered that too. What is the age when a man are already settled for marriage? So I shared that. It's usually when they're already in their 30s or 40s, when they have the financial security. So with that said, friends, let's see. What about if you already have sex with my date? Is it possible that he takes me for a serious relationship now? I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible. But let's be honest. If it was only just one time, you can always say it was a mistake and I prefer getting back to our foundation of dating and not rushing the process. But if you already been sleeping with him for weeks or months, this is already you're taking the relationship south. And now I already shared earlier how you can make this man serious about you. Otherwise, if it's you doing the duties of a wife, you're sleeping with him, you're having sex with him, why would he want to marry you? Why would he want to get engaged to you and take responsibility for you and protect you and provide for you? You already ruined it. Yeah. And so, if you watched my video earlier, I shared the tips how to twist a man's hand to commit to you. And so, if you haven't been here, you can watch my YouTube live that will be uploaded now, and you will see when I answer that question. So, friends, don't rush. Don't rush jumping into having sexual intimacy. That should be the last thing. So, with that said, friends, thank you for being on live here with me on Instagram and on YouTube. I want to wish you again Happy New Year. Let this year be the year of love, prosperity, and most importantly, where you grow spiritually, where you connecting to our creator or universe or God Himself, however you understand it, so you can truly feel whole and complete with yourself the way you are, not feeling that you're insecure, something is wrong with you, that you have to please someone, that you have to fake yourself or go through any surgeries or a lot of motivational programs to be whoever you know you are, so you can truly connect to your meaning in life, your purpose in life, so you can achieve your dreams and understanding your true purpose, why you're here. Because for us women, our biggest duty is to have relationship to creator, and then to have family and kids. If we don't have that, we will never experience happiness. It's going to be just superficial happiness. So with that said, namaskar. Thank you. Namaste. It's been a pleasure to be with you. I love you. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year, friends. Mm. Bye. Bye, friends.